travelling in the car today, which is quite unusual for me, on my way to the most visited Hillfort in Wiltshire. Well, you can see I've got my hat on today, any excuse to wear it, with the white horse behind me. The white horse supposedly put there to celebrate Alfred's victory over the Danes and the Battle of Ethandune or Eddington in AD 878. Nobody really knows that that's the case. First records of this go back to about 1700-ish. Some people say it was a different way on the hill. Some people say that it was something to do with a printing error. But it's a nice thing to see on the hill, a big white horse, and you'll get others that say, oh, about the concrete it's filled with. Well, it would be a mammoth job to get it out. But it's a fantastic thing on the side of the hill, a landmark that you can see for miles and miles. And it just forms part of the experience of the Hillfort. And then we've got the obligatory Trig Point up here. Well, it's a sort of a Trig Point. I won't call it a Trig Point actually, because it sort of is and isn't. It's a marker that was put here in 1968, and it shows you the distance of places away, like Bristol 23 miles, Chippenham 14 miles, etc. So looking in the Chippenham direction, that's over there. You see the feet of the horse and the horse in that direction. And looking in the Bristol direction there, you can see Westbury and on past into the distance. Just come down these steps and through this gate here, and it's controlled by English Heritage. And first of the ramparts there, and a great view of the Long Barrow over there from the ramparts up here, which is truly amazing. And just to scan around a bit, you can see I'm on the southern facing ramparts at the moment. Obviously we've got two of them here, and out towards the car parking area there. And you can see how popular it is. No ice cream man today. Normally there's an ice cream van up here. So we'll carry on this way and see what we can get from the place. There's various leisure activities that go on up here, anywhere from parascending to grass sledging, which is another activity we used to do on Lino years ago as kids, to mountain biking, walking, dog walking, meeting people up here for various things. There's lots of things that go on in this area that make it so popular. And there's a lovely piece of sarsen. Don't find much of that round here. And looking down, there's the plaque saying to commemorate the Battle of Ethandune fought in this vicinity. So at least they say vicinity, not actually here, where King Alfred the Great, and obviously only the Victorians called him the Great, the Viking army gave birth to the English nation. Unveiled by the 7th Marquess of Bath, 5th of November 2000. And we'll see the view of the expanse in the middle of the Hillfort, where people potentially would have lived, traded, warred, whatever. And there we are with the Long Barrow there, and 25 acres in total, the whole fort, just to give you some idea. Just walk a little bit here and look over towards that way there. Previous videos, always look at the molehills, because molehill archaeology these days, you never know what you might find in there. I can't see any wort flints or anything in that patch, but it's always worth a good look. The proper Bratton side, as I like to call it, and we're going to head towards those ramparts over there, because the views from up this side are immense as well. Just truly relaxing and amazing being out here, experiencing this. And to think that these massive ramparts in the region of 40 feet in places, and they would have been deeper and more sheer-sided in the past, were crafted by hand somehow. And the areas to one side that were quarried. Do you imagine just making one of these, let alone all the ones that we see? It must have taken years. The landscape is ever changing, and you can see the village of Bratton there in the distance, just about pick out the church down there, over the impressive combe or valley here. And it is a truly impressive valley that some people believe was used as a Roman amphitheatre, believe it or not. I don't go along with that, but it's just to let you know. So I'm going to carry on down here now and over this stile and head then back from my furthest point and towards where we came in at the horse. Well, just sat here on the stile, are there any legends of Westbury White Horse? And yes, there are. The horse goes down to Bridewell Springs, which is just down from the hill itself, to drink at midnight when the Bratton clock chimes midnight, church clock. There's no church clock at Bratton, so I don't believe that. And the thought of a big concrete structure going down, or a chalk structure going down to drink. Well, nearly at the northern side of the Hillfort, we'll have a look at the extensive views there and see what we think. But it's an amazing place to think that this was all crafted by Iron Age man. Now you can see the extensive views from the northern side as well. So a well defended Hillfort with views for miles, and a lot of it would have been forested down there in the Iron Age. And we'll carry on up here and through that gate and that way and on. Well, up here on the northern facing outer rampart, you can hear trains behind me and cars, and even hear dogs barking in the distance. And this, for Iron Age man, would have been a superior area, because they could hear game, they could hear wildlife, they could hear people in cases coming perhaps for miles through the forest. So a good strategic position. And carry on up here, and where you can see it going up in the distance, turn around the corner and we're back at the Westbury White Horse. And we know we've nearly done the full circle, because you can see the ear there, the concrete bit poking up from that, the coving round the side. So we're nearly there, and then we would have done this magnificent, looking back across here, Hillfort. Coming down near the head and the body of the horse, you get a different concept of the size and the view of it. Amazing. So now, stood by the eye of the White Horse, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll visit again sometime and have a little look at my history and walking videos. And until the next time, goodbye.